Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be installing a new exhaust on my 2023 Harley Breakout. So let's quickly take a look at the exhaust. Alright guys, so here it is. The name of the exhaust, the company that makes the exhaust is called Gallop. And the actual model of the exhaust is called Sleipnir. What can I tell you about it? Basically it's a completely hand-built and welded. It is polished. And it does come basically with everything that you need to get it installed. They send you all the gaskets, all the flanges. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this stock exhaust removed and get this bad boy on. Alright guys, quick note, everything is super straightforward and simple to take off the cans. This side collector is pretty accessible. The bolt on the left side is very accessible. The bolt on the right is super tight. So for those who've changed exhaust on these Harleys, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, the one that's on the right is super hidden. So what I do is I use a swivel with an extension, get it started on this side and then go on the other side and kind of fish my hand in there and undo it by hand. And same thing will be to kind of get it started as well. I'll start it by hand once I install the new exhaust on the other side and tighten it on this end. Alright, so let's keep going. Alright, so let's get these retainer clips off so we can get the flanges off. And the oxygen sensors off and move them onto the new exhaust. Before putting the oxygen sensors back in, make sure to put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads, but be careful, don't put it on the actual sensor itself, just on the threads. Okay. Alright guys, so few thoughts on the install and fit and finish of the product. This is kind of one of those things when you get a handmade product and it hasn't been fitted on your bike, you may run into some issues, and that's kind of what happened to me. Kind of a little bit of a background on the exhaust. They typically come bolted on only to the exhaust manifolds, and there is no bracket to hold the can on. So I asked them, just in case, you know, for the longevity, to create a bracket that will go right behind here and to mount it to the transmission. And that's exactly what they did. Obviously they fitted it on I'm assuming on one of the bikes that they have in the shop. But when I tried to put this on, the bracket wasn't fitting properly at all. Also, the way primaries are sort of sit, they tend to stick out a little bit more than I was hoping for. I thought they would be a little bit more flush towards the engine, but they're not, which is not a big deal. But again, that's just what I thought and what I expected. So not terrible. Yeah, so I had to do a little bit of bending and a little bit of a rotation of the bracket in order to make it fit properly. Well, as properly as I could, so that's kind of what I did. Alright, well, without too much more rambling, let's get this thing started and see what it sounds like. Alright guys, so yeah, this thing is pretty loud, very deep note. It still needs to burn in a little bit. You probably saw the smoke coming off the exhaust. Obviously that's it, the exhaust burning in, so it has to run at least for a little longer. It's already turning nice golden color. I'm sure it's going to turn more golden and purplish over time. But yeah, so that's the Gallop 2-in-1 exhaust. Alright guys, so a few final thoughts on the Gallop Sleipnir exhaust. So the finish on the exhaust is very nice. It's very well polished. The welds on it are very nice. The flanges are very nice. You know, I can't really say much about, you know, anything bad about the finish of the exhaust. As far as the fitment, like I said, I did run into a couple of issues. If I wouldn't request the bracket, I wouldn't have this problem. However, I feel like even though this is not a heavy exhaust, it's actually a pretty light exhaust. But I feel like just bolting it onto the cylinders and not having a third mounting point for the longevity may be an issue. That is why I requested another mounting point for it. I wish they could have used a different location. But they, again, based on what they told me, that they make a bracket for the exhaust to mount to the transmission is what they did. However, it was off by, you know, quite a bit. So I had to do some bending and twisting of the bracket in order to get it properly to fit to my bike. Wish I didn't have to do it. Not a big deal. You know, I don't mind doing things like that. However, again, when you pay for an exhaust, you'd expect it to be, you know, fitting right out of the box pretty well without any modification. So that's one of those things to consider. Yeah. Alright, so that will do it for today. If this video was helpful to some of you, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and as always, stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.